Colligative properties. Solutions are having different varieties of properties. On behalf of easy understanding of these properties, properties are divided into two categories. Number one, properties based on the nature of solute. See, there are certain properties which are dependent on nature. Suppose if sugar is added to the water, then it is having a taste of sweet. Whereas if salt is added to water, then it is having salty taste. So therefore the taste is on behalf of nature of the solute. So here based on the nature of the solute, taste, that is salty taste, sweet in taste, such kind of properties are on the behalf of nature of the solute particles. There are another variety of set of properties which are just dependent on number of particles irrespective of solute. Whatever may be the solute, irrespective of solute, based on the number of particles, the certain properties are present for the solution. Those of all set of properties are said to be colligative properties. Maybe the solute is X, solute is Y, solute is Z, no issue. Solute particles are same in number. So therefore a quantity, a certain quantity, a certain property quantity remains same. Such kind of properties are said to be colligative properties. Thus here what we can say, based on the number of solute particles, there are certain properties existing for the homogeneous mixture, that is solution. Those properties are said to be colligative properties, and we can say in short form it as CP. And these properties are four: 1, 2, 3 and 4. Number 1 is relative lowering in vapor pressure. Relative lowering in vapor pressure. There is a decrement in vapor pressure after making it as solution. That ratio of lowering in vapor pressure, decrement in vapor pressure to the original vapor pressure of solvent is said to be relative lowering in vapor pressure. Second one is elevation in boiling point. Elevation in boiling point. Third one is depression in freezing point. That is depression in freezing point. And the last one is osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Whereas first three properties are relative properties. There is a quantity originally. There is a difference in quantity after making it as solution. Such kind of properties are relative properties. These are, see the word relative, lowering in vapor pressure. Vapor pressure is there, vapor pressure decreases. The decrement in vapor pressure with respect to original vapor pressure of solvent is said to be relative lowering in vapor pressure. Boiling point is not the colligative property, but there is an enhancement in boiling point after making it as solution. As number of particles increases, this elevation increases. Thus, elevation in boiling point is colligative property. Depression in freezing point is colligative property. Similarly, osmotic pressure is itself a new property. It is not a relative property. This new property itself is a colligative property. Thus, relative lowering in vapor pressure, in short form we can say it as RLVP. It is a colligative property. Similarly, this is boiling point, temperature related to boiling point suffix of B, and it has enhancement. So therefore delta TB is a colligative property. This is freezing point. This is also temperature. Freezing point suffix of F, whereas decrement in freezing point is indicated by inverted triangle. Osmotic pressure generally indicated by a symbol pi. These four are the set of four properties. Out of four, three are relative properties and one is independent property. Thus these four are dependent on the number of particles. As number increases, this quantity increases. Number of that may be X as solute, Y as solute, Z as solute, no issue. Such kind of set of properties are known as colligative property. Let us go for the first property, that is relative lowering in vapor pressure. Thus, relative lowering in vapor pressure, it is the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure of the solution with respect to the solvent to the vapor pressure of solvent, that is given by delta Vp. Delta stands for what? Difference in vapor pressures. Where the difference will come? Solvent is having vapor pressure, solvent is reference. With reference to solvent, solution is having vapor pressure, the solution vapor pressure is little. This difference is said to be lowering in vapor pressure. That lowering in vapor pressure with respect to original vapor pressure of solvent is said to be relative lowering in vapor pressure. This can be given by delta vapor pressure by P0, which is also becomes equal to P0 minus Ps. That is vapor pressure of solvent minus vapor pressure of solution divided by vapor pressure of solvent is said to be relative lowering in vapor pressure. It is derived from the Raoult's law. When a non-volatile solute is dissolved in the solvent, as a result its vapor pressure decreases. From that vapor pressure relation, that is vapor pressure of solution is equal to vapor pressure of solvent into its mole fraction. From that we can derive this particular logic, and this is said to be relative lowering in vapor pressure. Let us go for a derivation of the relative lowering in vapor pressure, which is the one of the modified form of Raoult's law. Yes, let us go for Raoult's law and relative lowering in vapor pressure. When a non-volatile electrolyte is, non-volatile substance is dissolved in the solvent, the corresponding situation appears to be like this. See, this is the solvent in the beginning. In that, dot-like substance is present here or there, that is non-volatile substance. Due to dissolution of this particular substance in solvent, its vapor pressure rapidly decreases, because here the molecules in proportionation, molecules present in the upper layer, molecules enters into the vapor state. Suppose if it is also eligible to enter into the vapor state, then this molecule is also vapor molecule. That is present in the case of solvent, but now it has formed a new homogeneous mixture. In this mixture, some of the substances are eligible to enter into vapor state, but some particles are not at all eligible to enter into vapor state. So therefore this is unfit. That's what I wrote it as a circuit. That is absent, that is not present. Suppose if it is pure solvent, the corresponding vapor pressure is proportional to all varieties of molecules. In respect of solution, if you visualize, number of molecules of A, solvent molecules, number of molecules of B, that is proportional to total number of molecules present on the upper surface. Whereas, as being it is homogeneous mixture, the vapor pressure of solution will proportional to, that is Ps is proportional to Na. So therefore, all the quantities are related to one particular system. Hence, proportionality constants also remain same, because this property is vapor pressure, this property is number of moles. The same property is vapor pressure, same property is number of moles. Hence, by taking a ratio, Ps by P0 will becomes equal to Na divided by Na plus Nb. Whereas Ps will becomes equal to Na by Na plus Nb into P0, that is nothing but what? Mole fraction of A. Whereas from a binary mixture, we know that Xa plus Xb will becomes equal to unity, because it is a binary solution. As being it is binary solution, Xa and Xb combination will becomes equal to unity. Xa can be written as 1 minus Xb. So therefore if I write that Ps will becomes equal to P0 times of 1 minus Xb. If I rewrite this one, this will once again becomes equal to P0 minus P0 times of Xb is equal to Ps. If I rearrange, if I take Ps this side and remaining terms this side, it appears as P0 minus Ps will becomes equal to P0 times of Xb. Here what are the terms here? P0 is vapor pressure of pure solvent. Ps is vapor pressure of solution. P0 is always greater because volatile components are higher. So therefore P0 minus Ps is a positive quantity. That is, after making solution, the fate of vapor pressure decreases. That is said to be lowering in vapor pressure. So therefore this lowering in vapor pressure, P0 minus Ps divided by P0, original vapor pressure of solvent, will becomes equal to mole fraction of solute which will becomes equal to what here? NB divided by Na plus Nb. This is said to be Raoult's law. As per Raoult's law is concerned, this particular value, that is delta vapor pressure divided by vapor pressure of solvent, known as relative lowering in vapor pressure. This relative lowering in vapor pressure will becomes equal to mole fraction of solute. Relative lowering in vapor pressure will becomes equal to mole fraction of solute. As we discussed in the early, colligative properties are valid for very dilute solutions. Very dilute, the meaning is what? The mole fraction of solute is very little. Nothing but what? Number of moles of solute is also very little. So therefore Nb is very small compared to Na. So therefore relative lowering in vapor pressure P0 minus Ps by P0 is equal to Nb divided by Na plus Nb. Whereas this Nb is very small, hence we are making this one approximately equal to what? Nb divided by Na. That can be also written as weight B divided by gram molecular weight of B into gram molecular weight of A divided by weight of A. That is one numerator and one denominator concept. If I write this relative lowering in vapor pressure, that is P0 minus Ps by P0 will becomes equal to weight B by gram molecular weight of B into gram molecular weight of A divided by weight A. Now we are having multiple varieties of questions that can be framed over this relative lowering in vapor pressure. Have a look over the different varieties of problems. List of different varieties of model of questions that can be framed over the relative lowering in vapor pressure is, after providing sufficient information, they may ask what is vapor pressure of pure solvent. They may ask what is vapor pressure of solution. What is the difference in vapor pressure, that is lowering in vapor pressure. Or P0 minus Ps by P0, what is relative lowering in vapor pressure. Weight of solute, gram molecular weight of solute, weight of solvent, gram molecular weight of solvent, gram molecular weight of solute, number of moles of solvent, number of moles of solute, and mole fraction of solute, mole fraction of solvent. Like this, almost all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 varieties of questions can be framed over relative lowering in vapor pressure, that is on behalf of what? An application of Raoult's law. This is relative lowering in vapor pressure. If the solution is not very much dilute, in that case there is slight modification in that formula, because this is an approximation. This approximation never works correctly. To make it very proper, we are going for the modified formula, that is P0 minus Ps by P0 is exactly equal to what? Mole fraction of solute. Whereas in terms of number of moles, it will becomes equal to Nb divided by Na plus Nb. Whereas if I make it as reciprocal, this will becomes equal to P0 by P0 minus Ps is equal to Na plus Nb divided by Nb. Whereas that will becomes equal to 1 plus Na plus Nb. If I make 1 this side, that will be minus P0 plus Ps divided by P0 minus Ps is equal to Na by Nb. These two terms gets cancelled. That is Ps divided by P0 minus Ps is equal to Na by Nb. In a proper version to remember, if I once again make it as reciprocal, that is P0 minus Ps by Ps will becomes equal to weight A by gram molecular weight of A into gram molecular weight of B divided by weight B. This is the formula. Logically works for every particular variety of solution. It works for dilute solutions. It works for concentrated solutions. But it is not equal to relative lowering in vapor pressure. Mathematically, you can get the proper values of components, mole fractions and all the things. That is P0 minus Ps by Ps is equal to weight A by gram molecular weight of A into gram molecular weight of B divided by, that is Ps by P0 minus Ps is equal to P0 yes, I am making it as reciprocal. P0 minus Ps by Ps is equal to Nb by Na. that will becomes equal to weight B by gram molecular weight of B into gram molecular weight of A by weight A. In this way, you can interrelate the things. This formula works nicely for all varieties of solutions. Either that may be a dilute solution or it may be a concentrated solution. But this term is not equal to relative lowering in vapor pressure. Getting clear? In this way, relative lowering in vapor pressure, which is a derivative of Raoult's law, and the interrelations of RLVP with weight, molecular weight, number of moles, mole fractions, all varieties of models are like this. Yes, experimental calculations of Ostwald RLVP, that is done by Ostwald-Walker method. Already we explained in the last videos. Whereas as for this Ostwald-Walker method, RLVP will be given by weight loss at solvent chamber divided by weight gained in the dehydration chamber. That is W2 divided by W2 plus W1, that is total weight gained at solvent and the solution chambers is nothing but what? Weight gained at the dehydration chamber, that is W2 by W1 plus W2. In this way, the vapor pressures are correlated with the weight, because always measuring of vapor pressure becomes difficult. That's what vapor pressure proportionation related weights are taken into account. Thus, RLVP will becomes equal to W2 by W1 plus W2. Extra model of questions on RLVP that can be covered with the Ostwald-Walker method. RLVP will be given by P0 minus Ps by P0, which will becomes equal to what? Here, approximately that will becomes equal to Nb divided by Na, which will becomes equal to weight B by gram molecular weight of B into gram molecular weight of A divided by weight A. That will also becomes equal to what? W2 by W1 plus W2. Here, those covered 12 models followed by another 3 models, that is what is W1, what is W2, what is W3, such varieties of questions. That is, what is weight loss in the solution chamber, what is weight loss in the solvent chamber, what is the net weight loss in the both the chambers, otherwise what is the weight gained in the dehydration chamber. W1 stands for weight loss in solution compartment or solution chamber, whereas W2 stands for weight loss in solvent chamber. W3 stands for weight loss in both solvent plus solution or weight gained in dehydration chamber. In this way, another 3 models, that is 12 plus 3, 15 varieties of models can be framed over the relative lowering in vapor pressure. Second colligative property is elevation in boiling point. Boiling point is related with vapor pressure, whereas boiling point can be defined as the temperature of the liquid at which its vapor pressure becomes equal to atmospheric pressure is known as its corresponding boiling point. Generally what happens is, suppose if I take a liquid, this is liquid, it is having some vapor pressure, whereas atmosphere also offers opposite force to not to allow the vapor molecules into atmosphere. If it allows, then that is converted as gas. Whereas when this vapor pressure becomes equal to externally opposing pressure, that is atmospheric pressure, then at that particular temperature this liquid material is definitely 100% enters into the gaseous state, and that particular temperature is said to be boiling point. That is, the temperature at which vapor pressure becomes equal to atmospheric pressure is known as its corresponding boiling point. Vapor pressure is a characteristic property of the substance. Similarly, Boiling point is also a characteristic substance of the substance. See here, I am taking pure substance, corresponding vapor molecules are like this. Whereas if I measure the pressure under the pure substance conditions like C0 without any contamination, I found that this is equal to P0. Whereas under C1 concentration condition it becomes equal to P1, and C2 concentration conditions it becomes equal to P2. This is done under constant temperature conditions, which is not equal to atmospheric conditions. To make it equal to atmospheric pressure conditions, I have to raise the temperature. But here, how many molecules are present in vapor state? Say some 3 molecules. Here less than 3, still less than 3. So therefore, at a temperature of T0, it is reaching to atmospheric temperature. At T0, it doesn't be 1 atmospheric pressure. To make it atmosphere, I want to go for another temperature T1, which is higher than T0, and still here to make it atmospheric pressure, temperature has to be raised, and the temperature is T2. Whereas in vapor pressure, this is higher, concentration, this is higher, this is higher. Thus, as the concentration of solution increases, its vapor pressure is decreasing because it is non-volatile in nature. So its vapor pressure is decreasing, its boiling point is goes on increasing. So therefore, here the concentration information and the difference in boiling points, that is elevation in boiling points, are interrelated. With this, we are getting the logic, that is delta TB, elevation in boiling point is proportional to concentration. This is the logical relation. We can represent this information in the form of a graph, thereby it becomes very clear. The same experimental information is represented in the form of a graph here. Here on x-axis we are taking increment of temperature, on y-axis the vapor pressure is taken, whereas different concentration C0, C1, C2 is related, all varieties of concentrations are taken. Whereas with increasing of temperature, vapor pressure, every case increases irrespective of concentration. But whereas lower concentration early reaches to the boiling point, higher concentration requires higher temperature. So therefore here C0 reaches at a TB0, which is lower temperature, and C1 reaches at a TB1, which is intermediate temperature. C2 concentration, higher concentration, it requires higher temperature, that is TB2, and reaches to the atmospheric pressure. If I rewrite the relation, that is TB1 minus TB0 divided by TB2 minus TB0 is equal to, that is C1 minus C0 by C2 minus C0. This particular logical information can be represented with a simple logic, that is delta TB is proportional to concentration. As the concentration difference increases with respect to the pure solvent, the more the concentration, the more higher the boiling point. Boiling point is higher implies difference in boiling points, that is difference in boiling points of solution to the solvent also increases, that is delta TB, enhancement in boiling point, is proportional to concentration difference. Concentration difference implies what? Once again, concentration of solution minus concentration of solvent, that is pure, there is no concentration, hence it is delta TB is proportional to concentration, and that concentration unit is found to be what? Molality. Out of all varieties of concentration units, the best concentration unit that matches with the elevation in boiling point is molality, that is delta TB is proportional to molality. That is, we can write it as delta TB will becomes equal to, is proportional to molality implies to remove this molality, some constant we are taking, that is K. K is related to the boiling point. Boiling point starts with B, and we are making that one with a suffix of B, that is delta TB is equal to KB into M. Whereas what KB says is, suppose KB I want to know, KB will becomes equal to what? Delta TB by M. To know this one more easily, to understand this one in a conceptual way, suppose if this concentration, molality, if it is equal to 1, then that enhancement in temperature will becomes equal to KB. If m is equal to 1, then what will happen? Then delta TB will becomes equal to Kb, or Kb is equal to delta TB. That is, under 1 molar conditions, the enhancement appeared in boiling point is becoming equal to what? Molar elevation constant. For 1 molar concentration, whatever delta TB is there, that delta TB is said to be Kb. Hence, Kb can be defined as molar elevation constant. The other name of this one is ebullioscopic constant. That is ebullioscopic constant. The meaning of molar elevation constant is the amount of temperature that is required to raise for the solution, extra required to raise for the solution to reach its boiling point is said to be molar elevation constant. Let us go for units of Kb. As per the definition, delta Tb will becomes equal to what? Kb into m. Whereas Kb will becomes equal to delta Tb by m. M stands for molarity, delta Tb stands for temperature, that is generally Kelvin scale. So therefore the unit will becomes equal to Kelvin divided by how molarity is defined, number of moles per kg. So therefore here moles per kg, here it is having more than one denominators. So therefore if I write one numerator and the one denominator fashion, it will becomes equal to Kelvin kg per mole. This is the unit used for the molar elevation constant, otherwise ebullioscopic constant. Then how the ebullioscopic constant is present? Which factors will influence the ebullioscopic constant? Let us have a discussion. Whereas ebullioscopic constant Kb will becomes equal to R Tb square divided by 1000 into Lb. Whereas R is universal gas constant, Tb square is boiling point whole square in kelvins, 1000 is 1000, Lb is latent heat of vaporization per gram. Whereas if I write for moles, it will becomes equal to R Tb square into gram molecular weight divided by 1000 into capital Lb, that is latent heat of vaporization per mole. So therefore on which particular things it is dependent? It is dependent on solvent nature, that is deciding factors of that solvent are, one is its boiling point, second one is its latent heat of vaporization. The more the boiling point, the more will be the ebullioscopic constant. The lesser the latent heat of vaporization, the more will be the ebullioscopic constant. Thus what we can say is ebullioscopic constant is proportional to boiling point and proportional to 1 by latent heat of vaporization. These are the things that can decide the ebullioscopic constant, otherwise molar elevation constant of the solvent. The important ebullioscopic constants of different solvents are, water is very important because it can dissolve, it is universal solvent, it can dissolve all varieties of solid substances, ionic substances especially. So therefore water related ebullioscopic constant is 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole and benzene is 2.53, whereas cyclohexane is 2.79. Let us go for a problem thus how the ebullioscopic constant and the elevation boiling point is present. Suppose let us consider this is water is solvent with C0 concentration, water is concentration with 1 molar concentration, and the same water with 2 molar concentrations are there. These are the concentrations of aqueous solutions with some solute. So I know this Kb will becomes equal to 0.5. What is Kb here? 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. Whereas here, thus this particular one is enhanced by 0.52 kelvins and this particular one is enhanced by 0.52 into 2 times. So therefore here enhancement is 0.52 and here enhancement is 1.04 kelvins. So So therefore the total boiling point will becomes equal to, this is 273 Kelvin, this is 273.52 Kelvin, and this will becomes equal to 274.04 Kelvin. Thus, as concentration of the non-volatile solute increases, then correspondingly its boiling point also increases. For 1 molar solution it is greater than 273. To what an extent it is extra? That is extra by 0.52, and this is twice extra by 0.52, that will becomes equal to 1.04. So therefore this will be 273 Kelvin, and this will be 273.52 Kelvin, and next one will be 274.04 Kelvin. Whereas if I represent this one in degree centigrade, this will becomes equal to 0 degree centigrade, that is 100 degree centigrade, that is 373, 373, 373, 373. This is 100, this is 100.52 degree centigrade, this is 101.04 degree centigrade. In that way, if I express that one in Kelvin scale, these are the Kelvin values: 373, 373.52, 374.04, and in degree centigrade it will becomes equal to 100 degree centigrade, 100.52 degree centigrade, and not 1.04 degree centigrades. Depression and freezing point. On addition of non-volatile solute, the freezing point of the solution decreases and is known as depression and freezing point. Basically, we can get a question that what is the reason why the freezing point decreases? Though the boiling point is increasing, why not this freezing point is increasing? Why it is decreasing? See, in a perfect crystalline system, such kind of arrangement is there. Whereas conversion of this solid to the liquid, it requires higher energy. Higher energy is possible at some higher temperature because all similar crystalline arrangement is present. When impurities are added, non-volatile solute is added, some of the places are replaced by non-volatile substance. Here whatever the symmetry, system, regular arrangement is there, such kind of orderly arrangement is not present. So therefore it is easily converted to the next disordered state, that is liquid physical state. The temperature for this equilibrium conversion will be smaller compared to the temperature. So therefore here this temperature is said to be its freezing point, and this temperature is said to be freezing point or the melting point. So therefore original pure compound is having higher melting point compared to the impure compound. That difference with reference to the solvent, if we look, that is said to be decrement in freezing point, hence it is said to be depression in freezing point. That is, on addition of non-solute, non-volatile solute, here the freezing point is goes on decreasing. That decrement in freezing point is known as depression in freezing point. Thus, whatever the practical information is there, this practical information can be represented collectively at one location in the form of graph. That graph appears to be like this. On x-axis we are taking temperature, on y-axis we are taking vapor pressure. Whereas C0 concentration implies what? Pure compound. Solid is having very lower vapor pressure. At certain temperature it is converted to liquid. At this particular junction point, it is having a common unique vapor pressure, which is the vapor pressure for the solid, which is also the vapor pressure for the liquid. Such particular equilibrium is possible at this particular temperature, and that temperature is known as its corresponding freezing point. The temperature at which solid and liquid phases coexist with one another is said to be freezing point, otherwise the fusion point. Similarly, here in this C1 concentration, before going to that temperature, because of impurities, non-systematic adjustment of forces, easily it will be converted to the liquid in physical state. At somewhat lower temperature, it reaches to the liquid in physical state. If I still increase the concentration, C2 is more concentrated. So the more concentrated system reaches very early to the freezing point, that is at TF of 2 conditions, which is lower in temperature conditions, it is converted to liquid in physical state. Whereas that information if I write in the form of mathematical equation Tf0 minus Tf1, because it is bigger, Tf0 minus Tf1 by Tf0 minus Tf2 is equal to C1 minus C0, C2 minus C0, that is decrement in freezing point. This is increasing and this is decreasing. Concentration is increasing, but here this is decreasing. Hence I wrote the word decrement in temperature in terms of freezing point is proportional to concentration, and that concentration is found to be what? Equal to molality. That is, depression in freezing point is dependent on concentration. The best concentration you need that it can describes the depression in freezing point is molality. Thus, delta Tf is proportional to molality. Yes, the delta Tf which is proportional to molality, to explain in a proper version, after removing the proportionality with some constant, that is K, as it is explaining the freezing point, hence we are saying it as Kf. That is, delta Tf is equal to Kf into M. That Kf is said to be molar depression constant. The meaning of molar depression constant is, if the concentration of solution is 1 molar, under that conditions, whatever the depression is found, that depression is known as reference, and that is known as molar depression, and that constant which represents this value is said to be molar depression constant. It is also known as cryoscopic constant. Now we will go for the factors, thus on which particular things it is dependent and why it is known as molar depression constant. Case number 1, why it is known as molar depression constant. If suppose delta Tf is equal to Kf into M, if this molality is equal to 1, so therefore what happens here, for 1 molar whatever depression is found, it is equal to that one, hence it is said to be molar depression constant. Second thing is, we will go for its units, whereas Kf will becomes equal to delta Tf by molality, whereas delta Tf is temperature that is present in kelvins, whereas molality is expressed as moles per kg. So therefore here, if I write this one, that is one numerator and one denominator system, that is Kelvin, kg per mole is the unit used for the representation of or presentation of molar depression constant, which is similar to that of molar elevation constant. Similarly, here the factors that can affect, once again if I go, Kf is also becomes equal to R, that is Tf square by 1000 into L. Once again if I rewrite this one in terms of molar latent heat of fusion, that is R Tf square into gram molecular weight in grams divided by 1000 into latent heat of vaporization, the latent heat of melting, latent heat of fusion for 1 mole of substance. Thus, this Kf also depends on nature of the substance. There is no other factor that can influence the Kf. The one thing that can influence is one of the characteristic property, that is Tf square, nothing but what? Melting point, otherwise the fusion point, and second one is latent heat. Whereas this Kf is proportional to Tf. Kf is proportional to 1 by latent heat of fusion, 1 by latent heat of fusion. So therefore it is inversely proportional to latent heat of fusion and directly proportional with the Tf. Now we will go for important solvents used for the calculations of colligative properties, the general used solvents and corresponding Kf values. See, the Kf values for the water is 1.86 Kelvin kg per mole, and benzene is 5.12 Kelvin kg per mole, and cyclohexane system is 2.00 Kelvin kg per mole. If I go for the problem, an aqueous solution is taken, that is C0 concentration, C1 1 molar concentration, C2 2 molar concentrations are taken. Then under this condition here what happens is 1 molar 2 molar depression is found to be what? 1.86. Here depression is twice of 1.86. So therefore the freezing point is 0 degree centigrade. In centigrade scale, this is 0 degree, this is 0 minus 1.86, that is minus 1.86 degree centigrade, and this is minus 3.72 degree centigrade. Whereas in Kelvin scale, if I represent that 0 degree will becomes equal to 273, on addition of 273 in every case, it will becomes equal to 273. This is 271.14 Kelvin, and this will becomes equal to 269.28 kelvins. Thus, if I take the same 1 molar solutions of the same things, see, this is 0, this is 1 molar, this is 2 molar, like this if I take, whereas here in case of aqueous solution it is incremented by 0.5, it is incremented by twice of 0.52, that is 100 plus 0.52, 100 plus twice of 0.52, whereas it is decremented by 1.86, it is decremented by twice of 1.86. Thus, boiling point for the same solution is enhancement is occurred, that is greater than the boiling point of solvent. This is boiling point of solvent and this is melting point of the solvent. Compared to the boiling point of solvent, all solutions are having higher boiling point, and compared to the freezing point of solvent, all solutions are having lower freezing points. Thus, this is elevation in boiling point and this is said to be depression in freezing point. For water solvent, the depression in freezing point value is molar depression in freezing point constant, that is cryoscopic constant is 1.86. That's what difference. This is minus. Whereas here it is increment, that is plus, and its value is found to be what? 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole, and this is 1.86 Kelvin kg per mole. Yes, the last colligative property is osmotic property, osmotic pressure, and it is indicated by pi. It is a non-relevant colligative property. It is on its own, it is a colligative property. It is not of comparison property. Hence, it is an independent colligative property. Whereas it can be measured by Pfeffer's method, Morse and the Fraser's method, and also by the Berkeley and Hartley method also. All methods includes the same logic. Yes, the logic is like this. Suppose if this is the big container in which there is a barricade is there between the two different varieties of solutions. Let us see, this is pure solvent and this is some solution. Then if suppose this barricade is not there, then what happens? This solution comes over here, this solvent moves over here. As a result, it forms a uniform concentration containing system. But there is a barricade. This is not the complete barricade. It allows the lesser sized molecules to move to and fro, but the bigger sized molecules. Why it is bigger? Because solute molecule is hydrated with water molecules. As a result, its size increases. Due to having of bigger size, the semi-permeable membrane holes never allows the passage of these particular bigger molecules from one side to other side. Due to this reason, naturally it want to maintain lesser concentration. It want to spread. By spreading, by increasing its entropy, it want to maintain lower concentration. The maintenance of lower concentration is a natural rule. That rule is not fulfilled due to this barricade. Due to having of this barricade system, what happens is the solvent molecules from this chamber, net solvent molecules enters from the solvent chamber to the solution chamber. This is C0 concentration, this is C1 concentration. Due to this semi-permeable membrane, this can move like this can move like this, but net entry of molecules of solvent is taking place from solvent chamber to the solution chamber. As a result, let us see its height increases like this. This is the mu extra height. This extra height is filled with what? Solvent molecules. Molecules are having their own weight. So therefore, extra weight is present over the surface of the solution. This solvent molecules extra entry into the solution chamber leads to some pressure. This pressure is here developed by water molecules, and that is said to be hydrostatic pressure. The hydrostatic pressure that is developed due to osmosis is known as osmotic pressure. Similarly, here also with the same logic, see, this is the solvent, pure solvent, whereas in this solution is taken. These solute molecules never cross the semi-permeable membrane, hence the solvent molecules will enter into this one. As a result, here height increases. Due to this increased height, it offers some hydrostatic pressure. That hydrostatic pressure is said to be what? Once again, osmotic pressure. Here also the same system. Here we can take the solvent molecules. Here I am taking the solution molecules. This net entry of solvent molecules takes place through this semi-permeable membrane. Due to this, extra height is enhanced over here of solvent, that is water molecules. The pressure exerted, the hydrostatic pressure exerted is said to be osmotic pressure. Here also the same. This is Berkeley and Hartley method. In this particular chamber is solvent chamber, pure solvent is present. It is covered in a round fashion with the known concentration containing solution, whereas this is semi-permeable membrane. Here levels are maintained equal. Due to osmosis, what happens is water molecules want to enter into the solvent molecules want to enter into the solution chamber, but here we are applying some pressure, some weight here we are keeping. Due to keeping of this weight, here we are preventing the entry of the solvent molecules, net entry of the solvent molecules into the solution chamber. Whereas the pressure gauge is used to measure the pressure that we are applying here. So therefore, the extra pressure that is applied over the solution chamber to prevent the net entry of the solvent molecules into solution chamber is also known as hydrostatic pressure. That hydrostatic pressure is also known as osmotic pressure. Whereas with a simple mathematical logic also this can be calculated. See here, extra height attained is, suppose h is the extra height. So therefore, how the osmotic pressure mathematically, on which particular terms it is dependent. See, this pressure is nothing but force per unit area, whereas this force will becomes equal to weight per unit area, whereas this weight will becomes equal to mass into height, mass into gravity. Mass into gravity is equal to weight divided by area. Whereas this mass will comes from the relation density. Density will becomes equal to what? Mass upon volume. So therefore, this mass will becomes equal to density into volume into gravity divided by area. Whereas this volume will becomes equal to area into height. This area, this volume cancels. In this term, we will be getting h. So this will also becomes equal to h into d into g. That is height raised in the Thiessen funnel into density of the solution present in the Thiessen funnel into gravity 9.8, that is centimeters per second square. With that gravity, otherwise 10, if you multiply, this will becomes equal to what? Corresponding pressure with the proper unit. Thus, osmotic pressure is the hydrostatic pressure, extra pressure due to the entry of the solvent molecules, nothing but water molecules, from solvent chamber to the solution chamber. The height increases. Due to this increased height, the pressure is raised. That hydrostatic pressure is said to be the osmotic pressure. Hence, hydrostatic pressure can be defined in other way also, that is water related pressure. Else, osmotic pressure is defined in other way also, to prevent the net entry of the solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration. Through semi-permeable membrane, we apply some pressure over the solution chamber, and that pressure is said to be osmotic pressure. The extra hydrostatic pressure. Else, to prevent the entry of net entry of the solvent molecules, the extra pressure, which is equal to hydrostatic pressure, applied is also known as osmotic pressure. Yes. Osmotic pressure, definition 1, the hydrostatic pressure that is developed over the solution chamber, that is higher concentration chamber, due to the net entry of the solvent molecules through semi-permeable membrane from solvent chamber to the solution chamber, is known as osmotic pressure. Else, it can also be defined as the net pressure applied over the solution chamber to prevent the net entry of the solvent molecules from solvent chamber, otherwise low concentration to high concentration, is also known as osmotic pressure. Here we can go for the explanation of the definition. See here, this is lower concentration and this is higher concentration. Due to hydrated size, its size is very bigger because water molecules coordinates with the solute molecule. As being its size is bigger, it never crosses the semi-permeable membrane. Whereas this solvent molecule from here can go and this solvent molecule can go from here to the higher concentration chamber. Both sides movement of molecules is present, but as a whole the net movement is present from lower concentration to higher concentration. As a result, it goes on proceeding and after some time it settles, it reaches to saturation. Before reaching the saturation, it develops some extra height. See here, this is the extra height. Due to this osmosis only, this extra height is developed. Let us consider. This extra height is the quantity of water or quantity of the solvent that is offering some weight. If I quantify that weight for unit area, weight is nothing but what? One form of F is equal to ma, one form of force. So therefore, if I quantify that weight for unit area, weight is equal to what? Ma for unit area, that is nothing but what? Force per unit area, that is pressure, and that pressure is said to be osmotic pressure. This is definition 1. What we are saying here, the hydrostatic pressure due to stagnated water, stagnated solvent, due to stagnation, settling, otherwise accommodation, accumulation of solvent over the surface of the solution, it offers some pressure and that pressure is said to be osmotic pressure. Second definition, here if I leave like this, it starts on moving, net transfer is present in both the sides and net transfer is present from the lower concentration to higher concentration. To prevent this, in the beginning only I am applying some weight over here. On the surface, imaginary, let us consider I am weighting some weight. I am applying some weight. Due to application of keeping of some weight over the surface, I am applying force, I am applying pressure. Due to this force or due to this pressure per unit area, force per unit area pressure, the net entry of solvent molecules is black. There is transfer is there, but there is no net transfer of the solvent molecule. Such a situation, to create such a situation, here I am applying from the beginning some pressure. That pressure is also known as, that pressure is equal to this hydrostatic pressure. If I leave as it is, it becomes equal to this situation. Stagnated water will be deposited, water will stagnate, it offers pressure. Whereas I am keeping some force from the beginning, weight from the beginning. Due to this reason here, net entry of the solvent molecules is prevented through the semi-permeable membrane. And this pressure is also said to be osmotic pressure. This is this, both are same. Thus what we can define is the extra amount of water deposited over the solution due to osmosis through the semi-permeable membrane, in which net entry of solvent molecules moves from lower concentration to higher concentration. Due to this hydrostatic pressure, whatever the developed hydrostatic pressure is there, that hydrostatic pressure is known as osmotic pressure. And second definition, to prevent the hydrostatic pressure, otherwise to prevent the net entry of the solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration, from the beginning we are applying some pressure and that pressure is said to be osmotic pressure. Thus it can be defined in two varieties of ways. Now let us go for the factors that can affect the hydrostatic pressure, because it is just like a molecule, its speed is more, then corresponding movement will be more, corresponding number of molecules moved will be more, as a result pressure will be more. So therefore now we will go for the discussion of factors that can affect the hydrostatic pressure or the osmotic pressure. Then we will go for the formula used for the calculation of osmotic pressure. Whereas factors and formula that are affecting on the osmotic pressure pi. One is, the more the concentration difference, more number of molecules will move. So therefore pi is proportional to concentration difference, nothing but concentration. Pi is also proportional to temperature. Here temperature is one of the deciding factor, because with increasing of temperature, kinetic energy of molecules increases. As the kinetic energy of molecules increases, net number of molecules passed through the semi-permeable membrane also increases. Hence here pi depends on temperature. Hence the formula is pi is proportional to C into T and pi is equal to C into S into T, whereas this S is proportionality constant which is equal to universal gas constant. There we will use R the word, but here osmotic pressure is a different quantity. Though the value is same, we are using with a new symbol, that is what S, and this S value will becomes equal to 0.0821 liter atmosphere for Kelvin mole Kelvin. This is the unit similar to that of PV is equal to nRT. Here also that is pi is equal to what, C into S into T, and the C is concentration and that concentration is present in molarity times. What is the unit that is present here? It is, this is concentration in molarity and this is universal gas constant, that is 0.0821 liter atmosphere per mole Kelvin and all other derived units, and T is temperature present in kelvins. Yes, calculation of pi's. Whereas osmotic pressure, how to calculate the osmotic pressure? If a non-electrolyte solute is non-electrolyte in nature, then the formulas are like this. See, this is pure solvent and this is the solution. Whereas pure solvent is having 0 concentration, solution is having C1 is the concentration. Then how to calculate the pi is equal to the concentration of the solution C1 in terms of molarity. This is what? Molarity into S into T. In that way in atmospheres we can calculate, and that is said to be its osmotic pressure. Whereas C1 is equal to 1 molar, suppose 1 into S is 0.0821, temperature suppose 273 kelvins, that will becomes equal to what? 22.4 liter atmospheres. 22.4 atmospheres will be present. So therefore in this way we can calculate the pi for the non-electrolytic solutions. Suppose pi of mixing, this is C1 concentration of V value and C2 concentration of same value of the same electrolyte or different electrolytes are added. Then how to calculate the pi? Pi depends on what? Total concentration. Total concentration depends on what? Total number of moles. N total will becomes equal to N1 plus N2, whereas N will becomes equal to what? N will becomes equal to concentration into volume. That concentration is here pi. That is P final into V final will becomes equal to pi 1 V1 plus pi 2 V2. So therefore pi final will becomes equal to pi 1 V1. It's pi into its volume plus pi 2 into its volume divided by V1 plus V2. If both volumes are same, electrolyte is also same, solute is same, volumes are same, then it will becomes equal to pi 1 plus pi 2 by 2. Because V1 plus V2 will becomes equal to what? V1 is half of V1 plus V2. V2 is also half of V1 plus V2. So it will becomes equal to pi 1 plus pi 2 by 2. If the values are different, then the formula is pi 1 V1 plus pi 2 V2 by V1 plus V2. If solute is also different, values are also different, this formula is used. If solutes are same, values are different, once again it can be used. Solute is same, values are also same, we can also use this one. Whereas solutes are different, values are same, we can use this one. Getting clear? Thus, if for the non-electrolytic solutes, we can use the formula of pi of mixing. Pi of mixing can be given by the osmotic pressure final will becomes equal to pi 1 V1 plus pi 2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. Whereas, if the osmotic pressure is asked for you that two different solutions are there, C2 concentration, C1 concentrations are there, then you are asked to calculate osmotic pressure of this particular system. Till now this is 0, hence this will becomes equal to C into S into T. Whereas now it is not equal to 0, its osmotic pressure is C2 into S into T, its osmotic pressure is C1 into S into T. Difference will becomes equal to the bigger one minus smaller one, that is C2 minus C1 times of S into T, which can also becomes equal to what? Pi 2 minus pi 1. In that way, the difference in osmotic pressures can be calculatable. Technical terminology used in case of osmotic pressures of relative quantities is, suppose two solutions are there, solution 1 and solution 2, corresponding osmotic pressures are pi 1 and pi 2. The relation present between pi 1 and pi 2 is pi 1 is equal to pi 2 then these are said to be isotonic solutions. Isotonic stands for having same osmotic pressure. If the osmotic pressures of both the quantities are not same, then these are not known as isotonic solutions. Whichever is having lower osmotic pressure, this is said to be hypotonic solution. And whichever is having higher osmotic pressure, this is said to be hypertonic solution. Relatively, winner and loser. Whichever is having higher, that is said to be hyper. Whichever is having lower, that is said to be hypo. In this case, this will become hypotonic and this will become hypertonic solutions. In this way, technical relative terminology, relative terms are used to indicate the osmotic pressure quantities, whether it is having lower or it is having higher quantities. Here, uses and applications. Suppose in our body cells are there, cells containing concentrations of the sodium chloride with an amount of 0.9 weight by volume percentage. If we take any kind of salines, saline is also having sodium chloride concentration. Suppose if it is also 0.9, then what happens is it works nicely. Intravenously we can inject the saline because there is no net developed osmotic pressure. Whereas if saline concentration is greater than 0.9, it is high concentrated, now it is low concentration. So movement of solvent molecules present from low concentration to high concentration, so therefore the cell quantity goes on decreasing because net quantity present in cell comes out of the cell size decreases, that is nothing but what it becomes shrinkage, whereas this will become hypertonic and this will become hypotonic. Whereas if reverse is present, if the concentration of saline is lesser than 0.9, whereas cell remains constant, that is 0.9 weight by volume percentage. Due to this higher concentration, the solvent molecules from the saline will be entered from the saline material to the cell. As a result, cell quantity increases, cell size increases, whereas swelling will take place, whereas this particular one is now example for hypertonic and this one is example for the hypotonic system. Similarly, whereas here the osmotic pressure related information is also present in storing of the materials. With the high salt content, the materials like mangoes, pickles can be kept. Whereas here what happens is high salt content leads for the high concentration. High concentration is maintaining higher vapor pressure, higher osmotic pressure. Due to this higher osmotic pressure, from lower concentration, whatever mangoes we will keep, whatever tomatoes we will keep, from these the solvent molecules, nothing but what water molecules, leaves from the mangoes, leaves from the tomatoes and enters into the high concentration chamber. Due to this reason, they shrink, first thing. Secondly, no water deposits are present, no fungi, no algae will enter into the pickle system. As a result, it will sustain for long time. This is the secret why salt content is more in pickles. And the next one is reverse osmosis. This is also used for the welfare of the mankind. Whereas in osmosis process, what happened is the solvent molecules, net entry of solvent molecules takes place from lower concentration to higher concentration. By applying some pressure, some extra pressure, if we do the process reverse, then that process is said to be the reverse osmosis. Let us go for reverse osmosis. For water purification, we will be using machines inside the home, whereas the RO process is present. RO, the meaning is reverse osmosis. RO system, that is reverse osmosis process. What is meant by osmosis? Generally from lower concentration to higher concentration, the solvent molecules net movement is present. If I reverse this process, nothing but what, from high concentration to low concentration, if they move, that process is opposite, reverse to the process of osmosis, hence it is said to be the reverse osmosis. That knowledge and that technology is present in purification of water. See, water of higher concentration containing what? Minerals, salts and all other things. but we want to make it completely free from what? All varieties of minerals. This is higher concentration and this is lower concentration. Whereas higher concentration water which is having minerals and impurities, that is sent through the semi-permeable membrane. Generally what happens, from lower concentration water want to move in this direction. But here we will apply a lot of pressure which is higher than the osmotic pressure. As a result of that particular high force, high pressure, molecules of higher concentration enters into the lower concentration like this, and this process is said to be what? Reverse, opposite to osmosis, hence it is said to be the reverse osmosis. Thus we will be collecting water molecules from the RO mission is said to be what? Reverse osmosis. The basic and the important applications of colligative properties is to measure the molecular weight of unknown substance. If it is not an electrolyte and if it is dissolved in a solvent and made as a homogeneous mixture, then any one of its colligative properties is measured properly. Then how to measure its molecular weight is, see, if I know the relative lowering in vapor pressure, either by Ostwald-Walker method or by knowing the vapor pressures, then weight becomes equal to what? Weight B by gram molecular weight of B into gram molecular weight of A by weight of A. I know these values, weight of solvent, gram molecular weight of solvent, how much amount of solute is dissolved. I know the relative lowering in vapor pressure. And properly to initiate it will becomes equal to what once again? PS if I take, I can know more properly. Thus, the molecular weight of substance can be known. Similarly, if delta TB is calculated, delta TB calculated value I know, KB is also I know because it depends on solvent. Whereas here that is molarity, weight B by gram molecular weight of B into 1000 divided by weight of A. Weight of A is known, how much I am adding. This weight of B is known, solvent is known. Thus here gram molecular weight of electrolyte, that is non-electrolyte solute, can be calculated. Similarly, from delta TF also, these things are known. Unknown thing is the gram molecular weight can be calculated. Even if I calculate the osmotic pressure also, pi value is calculated, suppose SNTR known, 1000 is 1000, value is known. Here weight B, how much added is known. Then the calculatable quantity, unknown quantity generally, where we can apply these colligative properties are for measuring of the molecular weights of the unknown components. And here this is the concentration unit, mole fraction of B. This is molality concentration unit, molality concentration unit, molarity concentration unit. All are depends on number of quantities, number of independent entities. Hence these of all are depends on concentration implies what? They are dependent on number of particles. Irrespective of particle is of what? How many particles are there? What is the concentration of particles? Due to that concentration of particles, these are interrelated with one another. Like this, delta TB, I may say 0.52 and delta TF, freezing point is 1.56. Like that, they are interrelated with one another. All are depends on number of particles. Hence, these of all are unique set of nature containing things, and all are known as what? Colligative properties. As per the definition given, colligative properties are set of unique properties existing for the homogeneous mixtures where they are dependent on number of particles irrespective of the nature. Yes, irrespective of the nature of the electrolyte, nature of the solute, here they depends on how many number of solute particles are there, and they are interrelated. They depends on concentration. Hence, these of all are what? Colligative properties. Here, after measuring the colligative properties, the values obtained for the any one of the colligative properties are known as experimental, otherwise the practical colligative properties. Whereas till now, by taking a non-electrolyte as a solute with the formulas, whatever the mathematical calculation results, the values of colligative properties, those of all are said to be theoretical colligative properties. In some cases, they may be same, in some cases they are different. Suppose their difference and their unity or equality measured by taking it as a ratio. If I take the ratio is indicated by I, I is known as want of factor because want of did a lot of research work on this. I can becomes equal to what? Experimental colligative property divided by theoretical colligative property. That is indicated by I. So as I said, in some cases it is equal to 1, some cases it is not equal to 1. Whenever this I is equal to 1, those colligative properties are said to be normal colligative properties. Whereas if I is not equal to 1, then that is not normal. Hence it is said to be what? Abnormal colligative properties. This not equality is once again present in two ways. It may be greater than 1, it may be less than 1. What is the meaning of greater than 1? Experimental colligative property is more than the expected. That is said to be I is greater than 1. If this is higher than this, compare it to the expected value, experimental value is more high. The many times it is high is indicated by I is greater than 1, 1 point, 1 plus something. Greater than 1, the meaning is what? 1 plus, that is 1 plus something. This particular value if you are getting for the I, then this is said to be greater than 1, and this process is possible when dissociation occurs. The meaning of dissociation is one molecule is converted to more than one molecule. Before addition that is one molecule, but after addition in the experiment it is not one molecule, it is more than one molecules. Similarly, if I is less than 1 implies what? 1 minus something. Less than 1 minus, less than 1 implies what? Compare it to 1, its value is little. Then that is possible when association occurs. Nothing but what? When more than one molecules combines in the experimental conditions and it is converted to less number of molecules than the dissolved situation. Then that is known as I is less than 1, and that is known as what? Association. I can also expressed in terms of molecular weight. That molecular weight can be given by I is equal to theoretical molecular weight by experimental molecular weight. Thus, I can be given by experimental colligative property divided by theoretical colligative property, which is also becomes equal to theoretical molecular weight of solute divided by experimental molecular weight of solute. Thus, I can be defined as the ratio present between the two varieties of colligative properties, that is experimental to the theoretical. Otherwise, the ratio present between the two varieties of molecular weight, that is experimental theoretical molecular weight to the experimental molecular weight, will becomes equal to I. I can be any of the things. It is equal to 1, it is greater than 1, it can be less than 1. Equal to 1 implies what? Normal. Greater than 1 implies less than 1 implies abnormal. Greater than 1, dissociation. The meaning is one molecule is converted to more than one molecules. Association, more than one molecules are converted to single molecules under the solution conditions. Thus, how it will vary and how to calculate these of all things and why these are abnormal. If abnormality occurs, where the formula changes, that we will discuss in the next video.